My name is John Diesel. I was a foster kid, grew up in Bronx, New York for a couple years, bounced around until I was put in a home, and grew up a little bit in Long Island through my middle years of school. For high school, I went to upstate New York. Once I graduated high school, I went straight into the Marine Corps, served in the Corps for a couple years, re-enlisted into the Active Army, 82nd to the 501st Airborne, and then into the Active Guard for my complete 20 years. I moved to Florida in 2015. I love this place, and this has probably been the best years of my life living here in Florida, absolutely. I haven't had what I consider an easy life. This is not me talking about like a measuring contest if mine was harder than somebody else's life, but I could tell you it wasn't until 6 years ago on my exit trial out of the military that was my first time talking about, and I know I'm a big guy, you see this appearance, and it's hard for guys like us to come forward, but I finally had to let my family know, like, hey, when I was younger, I went through, not just abuse, but sexual abuse from a family member, an adopted family member. And it was difficult. And because you think you're a man and you're supposed to be tough and strong and all those other things, I never told anyone. I didn't tell anyone during high school. I didn't tell anyone during my time in the military, not till the end. Not until I say it's almost too late. And I can tell you that it was like the biggest bag of bricks I've ever had to carry in my life. And even now, like, people look at me like, John, you're a big guy. Who would ever take advantage of you? Exactly. It doesn't matter how big you are. Hardships happen. And through my high school years, I remember living with different friends in high school. Like, just my home life was bad. So for me, the exit was the Marine Corps, and you could say, like, wow, the Marine Corps, that sounds like you're asking for something tough. I thought of the Marine Corps was the beginning of my new family. Like, I would find a family in the Marine Corps. And I entered the Marine Corps, went in the Army, I've done my tours, and I could tell you that everything was going great. I was picking up rank really fast, moving through, just my career was on a fast track, is what they call it in the military. Basically, you're just going through the promotions, but all these things that I have buried deep inside me, I never still told a soul, not to my previous wives, not to like family members, not to closest friends. I'm one of those guys that, like, I will never put anything on you. You could look at my social media page, like, woe is me, feel bad for me. And I feel for people. When I read other stories, I'm like, holy, that's horrible. But then sometimes, like, my eyes will get red and I'll remember, like, I can relate. And I will tell you that years ago, I would never say anything. And as during my time went through the military, still not saying anything until 2010. I was in a motorcycle accident. This girl did a California roll in her truck, drove over me. And I'm smiling, but I'm not smiling because she could have killed me. I had my helmet on. I was a large guy. And I remember being in the hospital, and like, you could feel like, oh my God, everything is about to catch up. And oh yeah, it does. Life just catches up. Like, you could be as strong, as cocky as you want, or be like, wow, look, I made it out of New York. Wow, look, I made it all the way here. Wow, I make good money. Because I grew up poor. And everything always has a way of finding to you and catching up like a bag of bricks. And I remember being in that hospital and just looking at my leg. It was like just completely wrapped up. They told me it was facing, from my kneecap down, facing another direction. And they got you on drugs. These pills, they call them the oxycodone and diluted, all this strong stuff to make you feel better. But we know those drugs are not going to make you feel better. They may take the pain away, but little do you know the kind of addiction and the pull that comes from these drugs. And at the same time, I was an E8, and I'm thinking, like, I need to get into the Sergeant Major's Academy, and I got to keep going forward, keep taking care of soldiers, keep doing what I'm doing, like, because I'm that kind of person. No matter what happens to me, I'm going to show love. I'm going to try to take care of you. I've always been that kind of guy. And I will tell you that, like, you just crash. It's like a plane in the air and it just loses power. and I just started crashing. Alcohol, the pain meds, work trouble, and you're losing yourself. And you know, with my kids, I couldn't see any of them because, you know, they get taken away. I mean, the wife is just like, hey, we're getting a divorce. And divorces are not easy. I mean, in a previous marriage, I remember I was in Afghanistan and like my wife was having an affair. This happens to a lot of service members while I was gone. And when I got back, I came back with a straight face. Oh, I'm good. I got this. No problem. You know, how many service members have this happen? Men or women, it doesn't matter. And they just take it. And I was that guy. And I remember my leadership saying, John, you should go to, you should go to counseling. And I was like, no, I'm too tough for that. I don't need this. I didn't do any counseling, not for the divorce, not for what happened. But I'll tell you, I was alone in my room, 2 weeks, facing a TV, drinking liquor, feeling sorry for myself, crying every day. Like, how can this happen to me? I loved her so much. And I look in hindsight that I'm fast forwarding to 2014 when everything was crashing as far as my job, the divorce, like you're falling apart. And what's crazy is I had a dream. So in my dream, I was a young boy, and when I was young, I was like, I want to go to Florida. I don't know what it was. Maybe I saw something on TV. I can't remember, but I thought of Florida as the sunshine state. Of course, you hear about that. And then growing up watching Miami Vice and watching Don Johnson and them do their thing, driving the Ferrari. I was like, I love cars. I played with Matchbox cars when I was a kid. I was like, you know what? Florida's the place I want to go to. And like today, I can't believe like I'm sitting here and I'm talking about everything I've gone through, and I am here in Florida today. I still can't believe it. This is the only place I've ever lived that sometimes I'm driving to the gym, just driving to pick up my kids who live an hour from me now, talking about things working out in your favor later, that I can't believe I live here. I get on the 417 here in Orlando, if you know where the 417's at, those long, straight, flat roads, and just, I'm happy. I have never lived in a place that made me feel this good. I've never lived in a place that I felt loved me and I got to love back, where I fit in. Like, when you think of Florida, you think of Universal, Disney, but it is so much more. You're talking about all the cultures, everyone from South, like nobody cares about if you're a citizen or you're not here. That's not or the heart of Orlando. Orlando is all the cultures together, and in most places, dominantly Españols. You know, you have to understand and learn Spanish, and I think that's a great thing. That is part of our country. Everyone here is brown. When you live in Orlando, in my mind, it's like you are brown and that's it. You have brown in you. Even if you weren't born with it, you have it when you come here. And the places, you see Colombians, Venezuelans, just Brazilians. I mean, it's just, they're all here, and it's just like everyone is speaking Spanish. Everyone is just, and family's important here. So for me, just this worked out so much better than I could have possibly dreamed about living here. The gyms, I love working out, obviously. I go all the time. It's something that grabbed onto me. And the thing is, I never answered the question of like why I got into the gym. I got into the gym because when I was a young boy and I was being like molested, I thought if I got big and tough. Now this is crazy. Everyone has different stories, like lose weight, get healthy, whatever the reasons are. Like I just want to look good, or for me, it's just like I wanted to stop the abuse. I figured if I got big enough, because I was real like flaco, skinny when I was growing up, and I just knew if I got big enough, I could stop it. And that's crazy. And the thing is, I lie to everyone. I tell everyone, I think about like, hey, yeah, I got into it because it's a good hobby. And it's not that it's a lie, it's the truth. But the deeper truth is that I got in it to be very, like I could defend myself and then be protective of other loved ones. And that's why, like, for people that get to know me, they're like, John is a pretty protective guy. And I'm a protective guy because I know how evil this world really is. I know the kind of things that could get done to you that just like will change the way you think and just hurt you hard from the inside. So like when you meet me in person, you're like, wow, this guy's 275 pounds. He benches 500 pounds. He's so strong. But you know what? Like, I have a big heart. I have scars on my body, and I have weaknesses on the inside. And that was something I was so embarrassed about, that like, I'm like, holy shit, it took me to the end of my military career where I was forced to be in a situation where I had to talk about this. And even now, like, I just like, I don't know. And the reason I'm saying this is because right now in our country, 4 times to 1, men are more likely to commit suicide. Why is that? Because men are not doing what I'm doing today. I'm doing this today, and I'm hoping that, like, instead of us beating each other up and being so damn macho and this and that, that we pick each other up. I mean, when you get on social media and you look at how many women on there picking it, they got all these challenges like black and white, blonde versus another hair. And I don't think they're bad. I think it's awesome. They're showing so much love. They may hate on each other a little bit, but they got so many challenges. Where are the men challenges? Why are we having all these challenges? Why are we not liking and picking each other up and commenting instead of, I'm going to follow all these women that probably won't even respond to me. I'm going to show them all this love. But guys I know in real life, I'm just going to kind of like slide through that, not show them love. But we need to pick each other up. If there is a theme in 2021, and we could lower the percent of suicide just by picking each other up. And we can't, and the social platforms is exactly a place to do it, because so many people are catching views. So many people are looking. So my hope in this of what I am saying is, at the end of the day, if there's a guy or a woman, military, not military, from this country, I don't care where you're from, and you see this and you're like, man, that big guy's been through a lot. And you see he's living this life here, and you know, like, hey, I've had it hard too. I'm not going to quit. Like, deep down, like, today was the day I was going to quit. But I happen to stroll on this video. I see this, and I'm watching, and I'm feeling the pain with him. I'm not going to quit today. Today is not a day I'm going to quit. Today is, I'm going to give myself a chance. I'm going to, like, for me, was get here to Florida. And I have a phrase that, and going to, there's the hotline. Like, when you look on social media, and I think these platforms are great, where you see push-up challenges, call this hotline, suicide awareness. I think it's great. But for me, I have taught suicide awareness in the military. I have done classes in college on suicide awareness. And I will tell you that for me to put my own caveat in it is, I will tell you my message, more than just call this hotline, don't quit, is find your Florida. Now, what does find your Florida mean? It doesn't mean that Florida is the place or your destination. This was my dream, and I am here, and I am living it today. It may be find your Bozeman, Montana, find, Miami, Florida, find New York, find Charleston, South Carolina. But whatever it is, if you are in a bad spot, you're in a place that just, like, you're dying inside, or you're about to do the ultimate, just like, I'm gonna quit. Don't do it. Do not quit. Grab onto whatever that hope is. Drop all the negative out of your life. That's right. Walk away. Don't explain yourself. And sometimes, like, just people feel the need, they have to explain what they're doing. Just do it. Maybe you go into silence and just make a plan. I got to Florida in 2015, divorced, with a negative bank account. I was an E8 with a pretty much 6-figure job and a fat savings account. I was staying on my sister's couch when I got here, and I was broke. And, like, I just had to come up with a plan. I had to put the right people in my life in the right circle. And it's crazy is that today, and I say this humbly, I do not come from money. I grew up poor. I didn't get my first car until I was almost 21. McDonald's and Pizza Hut was a treat to me as a kid. So I know broke. I know government cheese. I know the watered down peanut butter. Like, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to just Kmart clothes. My first pair of Nikes was a guy who was friends with me in high school, and he gave me his pair of Nikes, his hand-me-downs, and that was my first pair of Nikes. I never bought them. I bought them later from working, But I just, yeah, I know poor. And going back to finding your Florida, this was my dream, and I'm here, and I'm still like, I'm in front of this camera, and I'm telling you that like, you can make it. You can get to this place. You can, and if you don't have a place, think about this place. Think about the culture. Think about the love of the community. Think about the food. Think about just giving yourself a chance. I remember like how many times I wanted to quit, and I told no one. Because you're so tough, you're so macho, I'm such a man. You don't want to tell people you're almost quitting. Most people don't tell anybody. And for the 50% of the suicides, I know this from research is that they're from firearms. 28% is from suffocation, basically hanging themselves of some sort. And it's just, most of them that do this didn't give a warning. They didn't put up a social media blog. They just do it. Or they do something very happy and they quit. I know what it's like to be that guy. I know what it's like to be hurting and dying inside, and you got people around you and you're smiling and you're like asking them about their problems. I mean, how many of you know a person that is always checking on you, but damn well you know they got stuff going on the inside and they say nothing? And I will tell you that like, those are some of the strongest people. And it always seems to be the people that like have had the most crap done to them that are the most caring. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I've had so much crap done to me, and I'm still the person when I walk in the gym, hey, how's your kids? How's your family? Because I do care. Like, I'm not gonna let the evil and the bad things that have happened in my life change me who I wanna be deep down in my heart. So I wanna tell you that just for you people that are out there that are caring, that are still checking on people, it's okay to check on yourself. It's okay to like ask for help. It's not, and if you're especially a guy, it's not going to make you less of a man to say, hey, I've had some horrible things happen in my life. Maybe I need to seek counseling. Maybe I need to get help. Maybe I need to talk to my family. Do these things. It's going to give you a chance. So I want to talk about what it means to get in this fight. And if you are already doing push-up challenges and you're already putting out the hotline, if you're checking on friends, and you're really checking on people, sincerely asking them how they're doing and what you could do to help, you're in the fight. For me, I know I could have did a push-up challenge. I'm always in the gym, but something, and I'm sorry, Eric Ruiz, he challenged me months ago. He's a cop, weightlifter, good guy. He tagged me in a post on Facebook months ago, like, hey, John, Diesel, I challenge you to this challenge of push-ups and putting out the suicide awareness. And I apologize that I haven't done it. It was just, this is a touchy subject for me, and I didn't know if I was ever going to do this. And so saying that, I apologize, but we're doing it now. And the luck of doing a weightlifting video not that long ago with Jose and having him here film this, and I could tell you the timing. This is the holidays. This is a downtime. Everything was like, I was fighting it, but right now was the time to push. And getting in this fight right now means this video. Like I said, if you are watching this video right now and you are on the moment, or you know someone that is in the moment and they're about to quit, don't quit. Don't ever quit. Give yourself a chance. And my message is, find your Florida. Like I said, it doesn't have to be here. It could be anywhere you want, anywhere. Find your Florida. Find your happiness. Because yes, if I could go through my childhood, my time in the military, my hardships, and I could get here, I see people all the time that I know, that I see in the gym or places I go, like, John, man, you are living the life. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I don't say anything, but I'm like, damn, I would never wish him to go through this. I had a friend, Evan Davila, told me after all my hardships of exiting the military, he's like, if I was in your shoes and and he knew my life, we've talked a little bit about it. He's like, I wouldn't be here. Basically he was saying he would have killed himself. And I didn't. And I don't have a fallback plan. I don't come from money. I don't come from my biological, I don't come from much, but I'm so, I know I was meant for more. I had another staff sergeant, God bless his soul, he passed away after he retired out of the Army. His name was Dave Powell, and I'll never forget this. When I was a staff sergeant, he looked at me when I got to the last unit and he said, man, you are meant to do more. And I was thinking like maybe get promoted, move through the ranks, take care of the soldiers I was with at the time. He wasn't talking about this. If he's looking down today, he would be so proud that I'm doing something like this. And he would tell me, he'd be like, John, I am not surprised. Because he's like, you're going to save some lives. And isn't that what we're here for? So again, find your Florida. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Give yourself a chance. If you don't have no one to talk to, absolutely no one, send me your story. Send your message. It's because if I get you not to quit, mission accomplished. So God bless. The holidays are coming up. Yes, this is a time where suicides tend to go up. And with everything going on in the country, with COVID, the election, I kept the politics out of this because I am about suicide awareness. So we're going to leave the politics out of this because every person is important. I don't care if you're a citizen or if you are just visiting from another country. Every human being is important. So God bless. Give yourself a chance. I look forward to seeing new members at the gym. And I hope I save a life. And I hope you do too.